Welcome back to the Willis Podcast. Let me check my settings. Okay, audio. I always gotta check that audio. All right, we should be good. You guys should be able to hear me. Yeah, all right. Had to get your YouTube started though. TikTok started, YouTube started. Yeah, we here, we back, we at a place. Welcome to the Tuesday show. Yeah, man. Stupid people have power show. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into why and how stupid people do have power. And they have power simply because they cause so much goddamn damage in the world. They are the yeah, here we go. We back. Okay. Had a little mishap real quick there. Got to keep my hands off my computer. I can only keep it alive. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, dig this. Um, Stupid people, man. They want because they can't see or they don't identify. And let's be clear. Let's make sure we have the definition of what stupidity is. Stupidity is when a person has no intelligence or no common sense. Common sense, or what you would call, or what was called before it was called common sense, it was mother's wit. Shout out to Dr. Akil. But mother's wit is what was passed down through your genome. You know how, you know, your mitochondrial DNA. You know what was you blessed with? Your archetype. You know, and what also your phenotype is what your dad gives you, and those different elements of that were made that made you. You know, so you have there are a lot of identifiable aspects when it comes to DNA. We won't get into all of that this evening. We are equipped to, but this is not that show. I just want you to understand that you're made up a lot of only your mother and your father and your mother's father and so on and so forth. That's what makes you you. That's what makes you completely you. And I have always ran down the context of the IP address and all of these things that you can actually make external or physical that is internal as well. So all the things that you can associate or think of that is external is also internal. Is knowing yourself inside out. But on the Willis podcast, we try to help you to understand yourself inside out because there's so many things that we want to gravitate toward, or things that we see externally or on the exterior, outwardly, outside of yourself. So you want to associate yourself with these things that are attractive and tangible, whether it be people or possessions or material obsessions. So some people want to live their life like that. You know, they want. I value some things that are nice, or I like nice things. We all should like nice things, depending on what you're exposed to. Now, are they necessary? Absolutely no, not. What is necessary is, what how you think. First and foremost, how you think is what's most necessary. How you think. Because how you think is going to dictate how you operate. How you think is going to process how you operate first and foremost. Because it's always when you think and you're processing. And when you are processing, you are establishing the ability to do something about it. Might make it physical or make it come to life. Put it in the universe, express it, and put some character to it, meaning you want to build something outside of yourself. But when you build something outside of yourself, does it serve you, or does it serve a multitude of people, or does it serve all? Is it good for all? So people that even value the proper complexities of putting products out, you got to understand what kind of product is it, and is it valuable for all? See, if you go to willispodcast.com, you see that that product is valuable for all. Because the will is yours as a moniker, but it also belongs to you. If you have a will, there is a way for you. So the will is yours. If you have the will to do something, you have the will to capital ethics, your morals, your values, and the way you want to push your spirit into the universe and value it with the product or whatever you want to do, you can do it, but it has to be for all. If not for all, a majority or a of people that gravitate towards you and what you putting out, your product. So it could, like, my audience could be predominantly Black Americans, FBAs, but I guarantee you, people that look at the show, I have some uh, Siberian people that look at the show. I have some Latino people that look at the show. It's a great deal of people that may entertain India, people that are, from Pakistan, people that are from um, Bangladesh, people that are from Vietnam, people that are from Thailand. You know, Shout out to everybody that tunes into the Wilderness Podcast because I appreciate your company first and foremost. I appreciate being able to talk to you and not being, judgmental to anyone. I just like to bring light to the melanated cultures globally because we know what we all have in common, but yet and still there is a capitulation with your demise. See, when you capitulate with your demise, you have to also understand why you can't always try to brutalize or put your blame or put your focus on people like us, foundational Black Americans, American Indians, people that have been here, the Americas, here in America. So a lot of people like to put their antics and their blames on us as if we have no wherewithal to understand how you even came up with that equation when it's purely propaganda. So when we see you cosplay us from 100 years ago, we say, damn, we so past that, we ain't even know. We didn't even know we were so far past that. Or is it the same? Or is it the same, or is there a correlation? I'll tell you, there are a lot of similarities and there are a lot of correlations. Because regardless of how, you know, an empire is built, if it ain't built on nothing, it can fall. And that's just what it is. So I said on the other night when I was describing the Super Bowl performance and the way I felt about it or whatever, lackluster as it was very educational because there were correlations, and that's why I'm not sitting up here. I understand why you want to get to America now. I understand why you see the shiny pearly things, and you're willing to give up so much of your soul and your flesh for it ain't even worth the cost for us. So you come over here and you think Black Americans, y'all should be grateful. What for what? What? Oh, you don't know the history of us. We should be exonerated from all crimes that they ever bestowed upon us. Because when you're the original criminal coming into shifting and moving populations, when they only talk about the small amount of Africans that came from West Africa to North America, they never tell you about the amount of Americans, Aboriginal Black Americans, were shipped off to Europe and also to where? Africa? Huh? Or even the colonizing African or the colonizing Americans that went to Liberia that were actually were of what of British descent as well. So I tell you, there are a lot of different stories that are parallel. They're going on at the same time. You can't just put these things in a box. You can't put the world in a box and say these people were behaving just as no, 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 no. One thing that was consistent in this equation was the European was behaving the same globally. That's what global colonization was. I hope you understand that point. It's not a very uh 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 difficult point to reach when you understand history and the behaviors of these type of people. That's the one thing that was certain. So I got to call my brother Dr. Akira back. Shout out to you, my brother. But yeah, so I'm on a TikTok. I'm on the phone. So if you're looking at the show, I can, you know. But the thing is, we have to understand and really take ourselves seriously uh, when we understand how these forced migrations, and I will show you where I'm coming from too. And in this book right here, The Indigenous History of the Americas. This book right here. We'll get into this later. But I got to get to the next what moment because I gotta get back to how stupid people, in power. Okay, first what moment? No one wants smart people to talk. The reason why smart people aren't allowed to talk is because if you think about it, some people want to be the authors or the orchestrators or the innovators, and they gotta have what behind them? Capital, money. So Elon Musk is the face of Tesla, but he's not the creator, not the innovator. He didn't go through the trials and tribulations of you know constructing that automobile. He didn't he That's why the business is failing because he's not the original architect. He's he's a thief is what he really is. So that's just one example of like and then you got a multitude of examples. That's just the more current examples but imagine if that's going on today. Imagine how rampant that was in the Americas when you had the creators, the orchestrators and innovators, Black Americans. I got that book up here too. Black people have invented everything. I'm gonna keep showing this book. I want y'all to get this book. Let me turn my camera around over here. um, I want y'all to get this book right here. His book has a great deal of things that it's just eye openers. It's an eye opener to see, the pure genius that exists in you right now today, and how even when you go on these jobs and they don't want you in the boardroom, they don't want you affiliated, with the mastery of certain elements. They don't want you affiliated with that because in some ways they have an inferiority. They have in a lot of ways there's an inferiority associated with that when they don't understand how they've been raised in their mindset to think that this person is supposed to be extremely inferior. They're not supposed to think like this. They're not supposed to even think that it's altitude. How dare them think? So they got to figure out a way to demean you or put you back in your place. And then when you even show or even have the audacity to say, "Oh, I know what you're saying," and you come back around and say something that they can identify within their history that is just so um, not so attractive. And if you ask them where you're from, they'll say, no, 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 no. Where are you? Where your people? Where's your grandfather? Well, I'm Polish, or I'm from, I'm Ukrainian, or oh, really? Well, my parents were Russian. Oh, really? But see, when you come to America, you can claim unadulterated whiteness. And it doesn't matter because you're from the homeland and you identify as uh, the whites, the white tea people that come here to establish that unforeseen at one point in time, but everybody knows the white privilege. Everybody knows how the construct of this country has deeply intertwined itself with the altitude of success. Even when you're not so smart, they'll make it and say, well, he's white, he has to be brilliant in some form. There's some brilliance, and then they have an unwarranted amount of spending power when it comes to fucking up. I mean, unwarranted. I mean, obscene. And it's all unaccounted for. Somehow it just goes away. Somehow nobody, oh, what happened? What are you talking about? What happened? What happened to what? Shut up. That did not happen and you didn't see it. Do you understand? Okay. Did I make myself clear? Next budget. Well, that was awful, wasn't it? We're just going to act like that didn't happen. We're going to talk to our fellas, above all of this. And we're going to get this wrote off. Erased. It didn't happen. It's not even on the budget. We just erased it. Never existed anymore. You know how they do? Yeah. Erase everything. Oh, no. They just cook the books. Yep. Or just throw a whole team of people out. Just, fuck them. We don't need them. We'll pivot. Oh, sorry. Oh, goodness. I've done something. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the thing is, we have to be conscious of when you're being, utilized as toolage. You have to be cognizant. If you're going to play certain games, understand you're going to win stupid prizes. If you're going to live a certain life, understand that it comes at a cost. So, I ain't want to limit my visibility and get no strikes, so I had to calm down a little bit. They don't like when I tell the truth too much, I guess. And I guess I'll pivot into the next whoop moment. Yeah, cheating versus honor. See, honorable people. The problem with being honorable is just it's not honored. I consider myself an honorable person, and I have to understand that that's what it comes with. That's what comes with the territory in some aspects of life, because some people don't consider honor a necessity, or for honor to be something of a just ordinance, because it's valuable. Honesty is valuable. I feel a little warm in here. Hold on a second. So I think honor is extremely valuable. I think honor is a very mighty, long-lasting characteristic that I think people should practice more of. But honor versus, what did I say? Honor versus theft, honor versus cheating, honor versus cheating. Some people are just prone to cheating because they feel like as long as they can get there, they'll be all right. But a lot of, it doesn't apply for everything. That may work in some aspects. That may work in some constructs, but it doesn't work in when you really have to meet that mark, when you really have to accomplish a task, when you really have to see something to the other side, or see something from beginning to end, and you are completely accountable and have to be responsible. Some people run from that type of action because I guess they feel like if it's too much, they can just start over. Well, it doesn't work like that in my world. It just doesn't work like that in some people's world. It does, and that's what makes it kind of unfair. But you have to not pay attention and not concern yourselves with the abilities or what people have, because in some ways, being held accountable makes you a ton stronger. Being accountable helps you become a stronger, better person. That's if you pay attention to the lessons that you have learned along the way, what made you account for something, or what made you realize, the value of not how to get put in jail. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to go to jail, man. It's easy to stay out of jail. All you have to do is find something constructive to do. See, when you find something constructive to do, and I don't mean scamming, making money easy. I mean My meaning of being constructive is how you construct and use your brain and how you apply application to whatever you want to consume in order to learn, to apply, to get to master. Then it's okay for you to get to the apprenticeship to start making some money and doing something that you want to do. But you got to have a love and a passion for it, because if you don't, you will fizzle out, you will burn out, you will crash out, because you'll stop believing in your apparatus. The problem is people want endless yield instantly, but you're not willing to put in the work to do it. And that's where a lot of people fall short. So don't beat yourself up on the head. I damn sure don't, because I don't fall short. I try to see things to the end. I don't try. I make sure I do so, because it's necessary for the psyche, accomplishment, the way your mind operates, and the way you want to affect yourself and as is what information you put out into the world. It's an exchange. You got to have one and the other. It's an exchanging exchanging relationship. All right, the next whip moment is the hate for morals and ethics. I know that's a booger for a lot of motherfuckers. The hate for morals and ethics. I think you should love and value the lessons that come with having or enhancing or developing your morals and ethics. See, when you develop morals and ethics, you develop a sense of knowing if people are truthful or if people are full of shit. You want to develop a sense of people who are genuine and forthright, then also being able to acknowledge swindlers, cheaters, and cosplayers. People that don't value nothing but money. They don't value relationships. They don't value time, energy, and they don't value connection. Connection is definitely something you have to value, because that's the way you get to know people. That's the way you know your boundaries, your limitations. That's how you know how to value. That's how you know if a person values you, and what they would also take you through. Keep that in mind as well. All right. So let's get to the next moment. Afraid to follow due to misinformation. Oh, afraid to follow due to miseducation. Okay, afraid. Some people are afraid to follow, or afraid to accept, afraid to understand the actual um, characterizations of others, is because they are misinformed and miseducated. They don't understand. If you look at the whole of blackness globally, you can't possibly make us a monolith. It's impossible. The reason why is because we have different ways of operating, different characteristics, constructs, and the way we even view and see things. I know that just from living in America, even with living with Black Americans. So the goal is to have a better understanding and have respect for yourself and for others. See, when you have respect for yourself and for others, that means you will be garnered some form of respect, because you have dignity within. But if you ever, and a lot of people have sacrificed their dignity, they have sacrificed their self-respect, they have sacrificed their soul, their well-being, their whatever magnificent design they could have been, but they chose fortune, they chose fame, they chose to skip the line, they chose to be what they wanted to be, and they only saw one way to get it. That's some, but not all. You have some magnificent, wonderful artists that or even actors and actresses. Great people. You have world-renowned scientists and people that But are they? Or is it just all a play? You know? You have to think about these things. So when you think about the highest levels, all these highest levels of the Epstein files, all these people involved, the highest of the high in this country and globally, all these people, all these sick people, all of these people, allegedly. There's a lot going on with these type of situations that you really have to think more than twice about. There are a lot of alignments to the reason why progress has never really been made for none of us. You have to think about how propaganda controls narratives and how you see how the Democratic Party, that ABC special that was ran on the FBAs, you see how they're guilty of, sort of sweeping that to the side, and it's already out. As I would definitely say what's happening to the same creators that recognize and identify that as well. Hey man, it's already out. That's why I always keep putting books like this out. Who invented us? Who invented everything? The majority of this book is Black Americans. But it also goes back into the ancient times, before, there were any Caucasians on the scene, and how the world has been, developed over and over and over again. When you're talking 400 plus thousand, 300, 400 plus thousand years as comparison to 6,000 being on the scene, you are an infant child that had a tantrum as far as, you know, in comparison to chronology and what has been accomplished, and what the stories that you annihilated, that now we got to pick up broken pieces from the past just for your arrogance, thinking that you could really recreate the world, impose yourself as the civilizer and the brutalizer at the same time, when we all got the same memory of how brutal you was and how that would wear, and how people would finally regain their sense of urgency to be who they supposed to be, and who they always was supposed to be. So you have to understand some of those elements that you was stored upon people, globally, that mental mind fuck. That was a strong paradigm that you forced down indigenous peoples globally, their mindset. And it's still going on. It has a very strong hold on the majority of the planet. So I just hope people understand the power of the will of this podcast. And what we want to do is help you realize who you are and give you your power back, because it's yours. The power that you construct for yourself. Your people, your legacy, the history of humanity. Take part in that. That doesn't have a skin color tied to it. It has an origin story tied to it. And the more you understand your origin, the more you understand how we are connected. But it takes some people having to say they lied and they didn't tell the truth. And they were specifically targeting the presence of melanated people globally. That's the show tonight. I got to check on my dog. I may do another show later, but he acting a fool right now. So I gotta call it a night. I might be back, but I salute y'all. TikTok, I might see y'all later anyway. But peace, y'all. Hold on, my people. All right. Had to give reverence and respect to a good coworker. So what I was coming from, I got to check on this damn dog. Um, he's acting a fool. So anyway, I'm gonna get back with y'all tonight. I got to do another show if time allows me to. But we'll get back with you. Hopefully we got that. So y'all will see me soon. I'll holler at y'all. Peace. Okay. The Willis Podcast. I got to end this show because I got to check on Jeep. He's barking his butt off. I got to see if I got to take him out. But hey, we'll get back with y'all. And don't forget, you know this favorite part. The wheel is yours. Be cool, be easy. Stay cool, my people.